Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. This is Savni. Welcome to my channel, which is an experiment with self. So, many of you may be aware that I was diagnosed with different health conditions, and pre-diabetic condition was the first thing that got diagnosed. So, before getting into how I was able to reverse the pre-diabetic condition, I will first start with what was my lifestyle, then how I came to know that I was pre-diabetic, and then I will share the factors that helped me to reverse the pre-diabetic condition. All right, then let's dive into today's topic, which is how I reversed pre-diabetic condition. So, before getting diagnosed with pre-diabetes, I would eat anything and everything. Of course, not all the animals, but fish and chicken. And mostly the fast food. And even the timings to consume food was not consistent. With respect to sleep, it was not, it was very inconsistent. Some days I will sleep at 9 p.m., some days I will sleep at 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. So it was very inconsistent pattern. Um, and with respect to physical activity, it was kind of a medium, I would say. So I would go to gym and would do kickboxing and aqua athletics, Pilates, and whatnot, all the cardio. But I think the food I was consuming was all junk, oily. I have a sweet tooth, so even at that time, I used to eat a lot of sweet um, outside, not homemade. So I was obese, and I was also dealing with lot of other health conditions, but I was unaware of it. My body was, of course, facing the side effects of those conditions, and I decided to go to a gynecologist to um, to see what's going on with me about a certain issue, which I will definitely make a separate video about what was going on. And she suggested that my blood work was due for that year, so she recommended to do a blood work, and it came out that my A1C was between 5.7 and 5.8, and that's how I got diagnosed as a borderline pre-diabetic. I definitely got freaked out when I came to know that I'm diagnosed with pre-diabetic condition. um, Also because of the family history, and I was watching pretty closely like what diabetes can do to your body. It takes a lot of time to heal your wounds. It affects eyesight and so much more. Of course, doctors recommend you what to eat and what not to eat when you're diagnosed with a pre-diabetic condition, but I started my own research in parallel, and came to know some recommendations like reducing the intake of white sugar. And I saw so many research done with respect to intermittent fasting, and I think that was the biggest challenge for me initially, because my eating timings were so off. Especially at night, I would eat at any time, 9 p.m., 12 a.m. It was not consistent. So I remember like that was the first change I implemented, that okay, I will start eating around 8 p.m. Then it got like 7:30, then 7. And definitely about the physical activity and how it impacts your glucose levels, and like it was recommended to have a physical activity at least for 30 to 40 minutes every day. So I started following those recommendations. Also, I got the continuous glucose monitor, and I think that changed a lot of things. Like, I started to understand when I get sugar spikes. So, um, I will add more details in the description about the continuous glucose monitor. You put that on your arm, and you don't have to prick your finger. Um, but yeah, that was a game changer because after eating certain kind of food, I came to know that okay, my sugar spikes, and then I started to find the ways like how I should reduce that sugar spike. So yeah, with the help of continuous glucose monitor, I understood that let's say I'm eating carbs after 5 p.m., my sugar used to spike, and then if I go for a walk, um, then it used to come down a little bit. So I started to understand, okay, what the physical activity, how it impacts the glucose level. But doctors and even the research papers says that the sudden sugar spike is not good. So yeah, I started to find the patterns about how my body is reacting to certain foods, and I started making some changes. For example, in the morning, my if I'm eating something sweeter, like let's say even a oatmeal with lots of fruits and dates, and I like it more sweeter, my sugar used to spike. So I would add a little bit of cinnamon to it. Um, and then those, it was not a sudden spike, but eventually it will go up, which was good for my body. So yes, so walking for 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, then reducing the intake of white sugar, and intermittent fasting. Like, I won't say intermittent fasting, but at least eating before 8 p.m., just doing all these things, my A1C dropped from 5.7 to 5.5. So yeah, I was definitely very happy that okay, in the period of 3 to 4 months, my um, A1C did drop. So whatever I was doing was working. But then again, after because you have to keep doing it, and because I was dealing with some other health conditions as well, so they were doing my blood work almost every after 4 months. So they again did my blood work after 4 months, and it was fluctuating actually. So it was not, I was not in the pre-diabetic um, uh, stage, but my A1C again increased from 5.5 to 5.6. And that was again a hit that okay, I'm doing all the things which worked before, and then why not they're working now? And it's not like I had started to eat a lot of sweets in that period. No, it was not the scenario. And during around that time, because I was dealing with all the other health conditions as well, um, I was actually planning to start with the plant-based whole food lifestyle. Um, the another thing during my research, when I was doing a research about plant-based whole food lifestyle, whether I should start doing it, I was reading a lot of stuff because for me it was like I need to be convinced that okay, I want to do this, and I literally had no option. It was kind of a life and death situation because of the other health conditions I was going through. Um, and one of the condition was stress. And while reading, I understood that okay, so stress is also one of the factors why my A1C is not dropping. Of course, all other things as well, like eating oily food. So diabetes or pre-diabetic condition is not just about carbs, it's also about the fat, and a lot of other things. So, and that was a aha moment for me. So when I started with plant-based whole food lifestyle, and the next blood work I did was, I think, after 6 months. Um, but at that time, my A1C dropped from, which was 5.6, it dropped to 5.4. But the another thing was because I had been through the fluctuations in my A1C, extreme fluctuations, I would say. So I was a little bit like, okay, let's see what happens in my next blood work. And then all the blood works after that one has been, uh, all my A1C levels are below 5.2 now. Um, and now the concern is like it should not go too way below, and I'm sure it won't go because I have a sweet tooth. Um, so yeah, I think what helped me is switching to plant-based whole food lifestyle. Definitely, I'm a plant-based whole food vegan, and I've talked about my lifestyle in my other video, like how I lost more than 100 pounds naturally. Of course, I started doing intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting, I think, played a huge role for a lot of other health conditions as well, but for pre-diabetes as well. And then consistent sleeping pattern, reduction in stress, and um, recovering from my other conditions also, I feel like did impact my A1C levels. And of course, the physical activity has definitely played a huge role. So for last 3 years, I have been walking. I try to walk 10K steps consistently every day. There will be a day, it might come in once in 3 months or once in 6 months. Never checked when that day comes when my body needs rest, and I do prefer taking that rest. And also, of course, I prefer doing yoga for half an hour with meditation, and I've been doing all these things for last 3 years with all the other things I had mentioned before, like intermittent fasting, plant-based whole food lifestyle, um, and all the recommendations which I had given in how I lost 100 pounds naturally. I think those are all the guidelines which has worked for me to reverse the pre-diabetic condition. Not just reverse the pre-diabetic condition, but able to maintain those A1C levels also. Like, um, I haven't seen any changes in my A1C. They are pretty decent in the same range for last 2.5 years. Yes, I will be sharing a lot of my personal experiences. So stay tuned to my channel if you want to know about all the health conditions and more exciting content coming up as well. All right, goodbye, take care, and until we meet next time, I hope that you experiment with yourself. It's so much fun, guys. Try to do it. All right, goodbye.